In 1975, Hawkwind was on the edge of collapse, a ticking time bomb that pushed them to the brink. Yet, from that chaos, they unleashed Warrior on the Edge of Time, a cosmic album that echoed through rock history. What drove Hawkwind to create Warrior on the Edge of Time, and why did it mark the end of an era? Stick around as we unravel the chaos, the genius, and the fallout. Hi, I'm Andy Fenstermaker, host of Poetic Wax, a weekly music history series and podcast where I dig into the record collection I've been building since the 1990s and explore the sometimes little-known history of a band, album, or song from within. Today we travel back through space and time to rock's wildest frontier. In May of 1975, Hawkwind released Warrior on the Edge of Time, an album that fused cosmic chaos with raw energy. These are the stories behind it, tales of a band under pressure, a sci-fi collaboration, and a bassist's dramatic exit that birthed Motörhead. From a shield-shaped sleeve to split critical reception, we'll cover it all. So let's rewind to 1975 and see how this warrior came to life. Coming up, a drug bust that changed rock history, a poet's cosmic influence, and the secrets of its strangest songs. But first, we have to talk about the pressure cooker. By 1975, Hawkwind was riding high, but they were fraying at the edges. They built a cult following with albums like Space Ritual, blending psychedelic jams with sci-fi vibes. But fringe fame was wearing thin on bandleader Dave Brock. Living on a quiet Devon farm, he said touring felt like a war, a sentiment that would seep into Warrior's DNA. Meanwhile, Atlantic Records was pushing for a new album to support their upcoming North American tour, leaving really no time to road test songs like usual, and leaving just 2 months to record, produce, and release the material. In March of 1975, they hit Rockfield Studios in Wales. 3.5 days for backing tracks, then 3 more at Olympic Studios for vocals and mixing. Drummer Simon King later called it a pressure cooker, but that rush gave Warrior its raw, urgent edge. And speaking of edges, the band itself was beginning to crack, most notably with bassist Lemmy Kilmister. More on that explosive exit in a bit. Enter Michael Moorcock, the sci-fi mastermind behind Warrior's Soul. Known for his Eternal Champion novels, Moorcock had already jammed with Hawkwind live.
I was helping organize some gigs under the motorway. I'd already written some lyrics for Dave and Nick. They'd asked me for some lyrics. During the organizing of that particular gig, they said, "Why don't you come up on stage and perform them for us?" So I did Sonic Attack and, things of that kind.
For this album, he penned lyrics and delivered haunting spoken word tracks like The Wizard Blew His Horn and Warriors. His concept of a timeless hero battling chaos shaped the album's narrative.
A bunch of loony spacemen who'd been on a spaceship for 1,000 years and had gone completely wacko.
It was like Star Trek with long hair and drugs. We weren't, cute. We were like a black nightmare. We used to lock the doors so people couldn't get out.
A perfect fit for Hawkwind's spacey ethos. Then there's Simon House, the new guy who changed everything. Joining as violinist and keyboardist, his mellotron and strings on tracks like Magnu and Assault and Battery added a symphonic punch. Dave Brock called it a creative peak, and you can hear it, those lush layers lifting Warrior beyond their gritty roots. But not everybody was on board for this ride. And of course, that means we turn to Lemmy. Just as Warrior wrapped, Lemmy's time ran out. In May of 75, during that North American tour, he was busted at the US-Canadian border with amphetamines, mistaken for cocaine. Jailed briefly, he forced canceled shows on the band, and his bandmates had had enough. Fired on the spot, Lemmy didn't sulk. He turned and pivoted and formed Motörhead, named for his bonus track Motörhead from the Warrior sessions. That song's gritty drive, well, that was a taste for the heavy metal future that he would forge under his new group. While Lemmy bolted in one of the most iconic pivots in music history, the album's art became its own legend. Designed by Barney Bubbles, the sleeve unfolds into a shield with a warrior at a chasm's edge. Now flip it over and a bronze chaos symbol, straight from Moorcock, gleams. This is more than packaging. It's a visual echo of the album's cosmic struggle. The collectors still hunt it down 50 years later. Now, the music itself.
It's dystopian in that you're always issuing warnings, and that's what dystopia is about. But I mean, you tend to issue the warnings because you're optimistic enough to think that by issuing the warning, something will change. You know, a lot of those lyrics, which were virtually psychotic in the world they were showing, we really were trying to find some new way of doing music, and using the electronics.
Assault and Battery / The Golden Void opens with mellotron, flute, and Lemmy's bass, quoting Longfellow's Psalm of Life, a poetic twist in a futuristic soundscape. Then there's Nick Turner's Dying Seas, a wonky sax-driven trip that's pure acid pop chaos. Turner leaves soon after, yet another crack in the lineup.
I do think that Nick was the spirit of the band, but Dave was the kind of the backbone of the band, without any doubt.
And don't miss The Demented Man, Brock's acoustic cry for peace amid the storm. These tracks show Warrior's range, grand, strange, and a bit personal. Not everyone loved it, though. Melody Maker trashed the vocals and the mix, while later critics called it a songwriting triumph. 50 years on, that divide proves Hawkwind's outsider magic, beloved by fans, but baffling the mainstream. Let's wrap this cosmic tale and look at its echo today. So, 50 years after Warrior on the Edge of Time hit shelves in May of 1975, what's its legacy? It's the sound of a band at their peak, and also at their breaking point. Lemmy's exit birthed Motörhead. Moorcock's vision cemented their sci-fi cred, and that rushed raw energy still resonates in some circles. So, whether you're a space rock diehard or a curious newbie, this album is a time capsule of both chaos and genius. What do you think of Warrior? Drop your thoughts below, hit the subscribe for more deep dives like this, and I'll see you soon on the Edge of Time.